that she wandered all the way from her house to here. It's more likely that she was dumped by someone. But again, I don't want to make accusations. I am just telling the story how it happened. It's time to remove the eggs from the egg turner. The duck eggs have been in for 25 days. The chicken eggs have been in for 19 days. And the quail eggs have been in for 14 days. So today is the day I take them out of the egg turner and lay them on their side. First, I need to make a divider because when they hatch, they're all going to be different sizes, and I do not want the ducks squishing the quail or the quail getting under the ducks and getting squished. Really, I'm not too worried about the chickens and ducks together, but the ducks will be much bigger than the chickens as well. So it'll be good to have the chickens separated into their own compartment, the quail in their own compartment, and the ducks in their own compartment. I always write on my calendar, if you noticed, that I wrote remove from egg turner. I always write it on my calendar because it is so nice to have an egg turner, and I recommend it for anyone who likes to hatch eggs in an incubator. But having that egg turner makes me forget how many days they've been in there, and I just don't pay attention to it unless I'm doing a science experiment with the kids, and like we check on them every single day. The last time we candled them was when we put the quail eggs in, which was 14 days ago. So today I'm going to take the egg turner out and set it here. I have my cooler turned off, so my home is pretty warm, but I will work as quickly as I can. And I will candle each egg. If an egg looks like it's not growing, I'm not going to put it in there to incubate and to hatch because I do not want to risk it exploding or risk having a rotten egg in there because they get to smelling really bad if they haven't been developing. We have been right at 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit for this hatch, and the humidity has been in between 46% and 50% the entire hatch. So, and I haven't had to add much because it has been raining. Woohoo! We're always happy for rain. So I haven't had to add much water to the incubator to keep it at that level, and that is the level I prefer to keep it at. Just if it was only ducks in there, I might keep it a little higher, but for the rest of the hatch, I will up it to 60 to 70% humidity, but I will keep the temperature at 99.5. You can see I made the compartments uneven. I did that on purpose. I realized we could actually have 4 compartments, and we have 4 different types of eggs over here. So the quail eggs do not need as much space as the rest of the eggs. So they will have this smaller compartment here on the left. These 2 bantam eggs also do not need very much space. So they will have this compartment here, and that will be plenty of space for 2 eggs. And then the chicken eggs will get the biggest compartment because I have the most of them. If, when I candle them, they're alive and doing well, they will go here in this big compartment. And the duck eggs, I have the least amount, but they are the biggest egg, so they need the medium-sized compartment. So what I'm going to do is put paper towel down so that my incubator stays pretty clean during the hatch. Put the paper towels down and then put this over it. Now the goal and the hope is that all of these eggs will be hatching on the same day, even though each different type of egg needed a different amount of incubation time. So now I'm going to candle the eggs. I probably won't show all of that. I'm not going to candle any of the quail eggs. I will put all the quail eggs in the incubator, but I will candle all the chicken eggs and all the duck eggs. But I probably won't put all of the candling on film because that will take forever. Okay, on the left side I have a plate. On the right side I have a plate. This left side over here, the eggs were all fertile, good. They're moving. All, except for one duck egg, all of the duck eggs have progressed to where they're supposed to be. And like I said, I'm not candling the quail eggs, but if I lift them up, they do feel like they have grown a chick inside. They don't feel empty. So now it's time to put them all in. I won't be putting in these eggs. They did not develop. And so I will just put them in our compost bin. all we do is wait for 3 more days and we see what eggs hatch. We have 7 duck eggs, 2 bantam chicken eggs, 20 quail eggs, and 20 regular chicken eggs. I'm really excited to do this hatch. It is for my husband's friend at work, so I cannot wait to see what hatches and how they do and how they look, because we have all different colors of eggs in here and all different sizes. So far the experiment has gone well. We only had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chicken eggs. And if you remember the last video I did, I took out 2 duck eggs that hadn't developed. So we had 3 duck eggs that weren't fertile and not good for hatching. So these guys, they were either dead or not. They were all dead, but they weren't developed. If you could see on the candling video of the eggs that I showed, most of them were completely dark and full and just had a small circle at the top. These ones were empty looking, and you can see through the entire egg. That's how you know that there's no chick inside, no chick developing. It's looking like it might rain this afternoon, which I am super happy about, and welcome all the rain that we can get. So what I'm going to be doing this afternoon is I want to trim off all of my gladiolas that have lived their life. So what this will do is it will, cutting this right here, will put energy back into the plant, and you can see it has another stalk right here that's about to bloom. So trimming this here will send energy back into the plant, and it will be able to bloom on the other side, or it will just put off all the energy down into the roots for the end of the season, and that way they will be beautiful next year as well. This is our second year for the gladiolas and the lilies. Trimming, but here's how it is looking after trimming them all up. Some of them, that one back there has flopped over a little, but that's okay. I want to show a few flowers before I get into the story about Cookie. Here's our yarrow. Snapdragons, and delphinium. Delphinium is quickly becoming one of my favorites. I had never grown this before, and it just looks like something that would be in a fairy tale story. Hi everybody, I'm sure you noticed from the thumbnail that this video is going to be a little bit different than some of our other videos. Normally on our little homestead we don't have very many dramatic occurrences. We don't have many people that, I guess the word I would use is, we don't have many people that we don't get along with. We don't have many people that have offended us or that we offend. And this story is about Cookie, the little dog that came into our lives. She came to us in the middle of July. She was living at our neighbor's house under an abandoned car, and she was covered in fleas and ticks, and she was just in really, really poor health. I made a video the day that we got her, and I also have made a short about her, and she's just been in the videos since we rescued her, rehabilitated her, and I was showing her progress on how her health was coming along. And I hadn't posted a picture of her to Facebook, and or Instagram. I had just talked about her on our YouTube channel and how we were so grateful that this little dog was bringing such a healing journey into our lives. I posted about Cookie on Monday of this week on Facebook and Instagram, and saying how this little dog had been healing our life. And my challenge to myself this August, because this is when I thought our twin babies would be born, my challenge to myself was to make a daily post about something beautiful that happened in my life. And it was a beautiful thing that this little dog came to our family, and we were able to love her and nurture her and get her back to health. And although she's not a dog that we would have purchased or picked up from a shelter if we were looking to adopt a dog, we just really fell in love with her and her personality. And we had her for 3 weeks. And before I posted that picture, I got a message from more of an acquaintance. I don't know this person personally, on my Facebook, and she said, "That's my sister's dog." And I said, "Okay, do you have proof?" And she had some pictures, and the dog looked very similar in the pictures to the dog that I had possession of. And I said, "Well, I have a vet appointment for her," and I explained her injuries and how, how skittish she was, and that I was concerned that her previous owners might have even abused her because she looked like she had been overbred. And she just looked in really, really bad condition when we got her. And so the messengers, I call them text messages because mine is like kind of connected, so they're basically the same thing for me. So the messages kept coming, and she would not leave me alone. They wanted to come see the dog, and I did not feel comfortable with that because I did not know them personally, and I felt like they were harassing me a little bit about the dog. And I had already given them specific instructions that I would go to the vet, and if the dog was fixed, then I would leave them at the shelter for them to pick up. And they continued messaging, and the next message that came in, because then I decided I'm not going to message them anymore. I told them what I'm doing. I'm taking the dog to the vet. I'm taking very good care of her. She is fine in my care for the next couple of days. And I left it at that, and I didn't message back. But the next message that came in said, "My sister's going to animal control." And I was like, okay, that's fine. I have nothing to hide. I did nothing wrong. A very sick dog showed up in my neighborhood, and I took her in and pretty much saved her life. The next message that came in said, "Animal control has told her to go to the police." I did not reply to any of these messages. And sure enough, a few hours later, a police officer knocked on my door, and I gave the police officer the story of what happened, and he took down all of what happened and pretty much said, "The dog is in very good health here at your home, so she's in your possession now, so I'm just going to leave her here, and your story is, you're not hiding anything, and why would I just take someone's dog?" And the other funny part was, we live very rural, like very rural. We live many miles away from a city or a town. And so for a dog to end up out here in the first place, a little dog like that is very unlikely unless it was dumped or dropped off. And so that was my first thing, is that they gave me their address of where the dog was lost or whatever. And it was miles. I'm talking 30 miles from where I live. And that is too far for a little Chihuahua to be able to just go on a journey and make it here. She would have had to have crossed 2 major highways and a river. And we have had a monsoon, so the river is flowing very strong. So it's just very unlikely that that happened. That she wandered all the way from her house to here. It's more likely that she was dumped by someone. But again, I don't want to make accusations. I am just telling the story how it happened. So on Thursday, I went to the vet, and it turns out that she was their dog, and they did have ownership of her, and they had records at the vet office. That was the other thing. They didn't have any record of that. They didn't really have any proof that it was their dog other than she looked like their dog. And so when I got to the vet and they had record that this dog's name was who they said she was, I said, okay, what's my next step? And so then I talked to animal control, and I learned that in Arizona, after 6 days, a dog that has been in your possession is actually your dog after you've been taking care of the animal for 6 days. I have been taking care of the animal for 3 weeks. So by this point, it's been 3 weeks now. And granted, I didn't take her to the shelter right when we got her that day. I just decided to nurse her back to health. I didn't post any pictures that we found a dog because my neighbor gave her to me. Like, you know what I mean? It just didn't really cross my mind to be like, lost dog, because a lot of dogs and animals do get dumped where I live. And so that did not cross my mind at all. So anyway, I've been accused of theft. The police officer said that was the charges against me, was theft. And he says, but they have no proof that you went and stole their dog. And I said, why would I drive 30 miles away to go and steal someone's dog? I just wouldn't do that. That's just a little bit out there. I wouldn't just go steal someone's dog. And of course, once I had proof that it was their dog, I was willing to give the dog back, except under certain conditions because of the behavior she showed. Looked like she had been abused. I said, I really want to make sure that she's in a safe home. That was my one underlining condition. I was like, you know what? Sometimes dogs get out, that's true, and they get lost, that's true. But her behavior is so skittish and so timid and so like she has been abused, especially with men. She was very afraid of Ryan until he was really calm with her, and she finally would sit on his lap and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. So I turned in the dog to animal control, and they promised me they would be checking up on the situation and make sure that the little dog we named Cookie was in a safe home. So we were very sad to do this, but another thing I have been really, really trying to teach my kids about is honesty. And as I thought about this, because I had a couple days to think about it, because this happened on Monday and the vet appointment was Thursday, and I talked to the officer on Monday. So I had a couple of days to think about what is the right thing to do? What is the right thing to do for the animal? Is she happy in my home, or is she happier in the home that she got lost from? So that was something that was on my mind. And the other thing was, what really is the law? Now I know the law. After 6 days, the animal is yours in Arizona. I don't know about other states. You just have to have proof that you have been taking care of the animal for more than 6 days. And I had all the proof I needed. I really could have kept her. I could have kept the animal. But in my heart, I just kept thinking the honest and right thing to do is to give the animal back. So I folded up her little sweater that we purchased for her. I sent a bag of dog food for her so that she can get switched over from the food that we were feeding her, because she got really bad diarrhea and vomiting when we switched her to our dog food. Well, she was pretty much starving, so she was like eating so fast that she would throw up. So I ended up giving them a bag of dog food. I had never met them. I wrote them a note saying I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but I didn't really want to meet them. I didn't think that it was very I didn't think the situation needed police to be involved. I'll just say that, because I had already given specific instructions on what my plan was, and I am a very honest person and had nothing to hide. So I was going to give the dog back if it truly belonged to them and if their home was a safe home for the animal. So that's what happened with Cookie, and it could be looked at as a very sad story, or it could be looked at as a very happy story that she's been reunited with her family that she loves. So that's for you to decide if it's a happy story or a sad story. For us, it's pretty sad. We're very sad. We got attached to her pretty quickly, and I think when you're caring for something or someone that is ill health and not doing well, you just want to see them get better. And you just, once you've cared, so I feel this way with all of my kids, because once you've cared for them as a little tiny baby, changing all their diapers, you've just put so much time and service into this little human. And in this case, it was a little dog. I've put so much time and effort cleaning up her throw up, cleaning up her poop, and making sure that she was healthy and able to go to the bathroom outside instead of having accidents in my home, because she did have a few accidents in the laundry room. She would always hide them, but she did have a few accidents that I had to clean up. And for me, I find when I'm cleaning up kids or animals, I get more of a love for them because I'm serving them and helping them get better. So we definitely formed a bond with this animal. It has been especially hard on Kaden because as many of you know, we recently lost our dog Nala. Our dog that we had for 6 years passed away, and she was really had a special bond with Caden. And getting this new dog into our home, Caden again formed a bond. And the night before I was going to the vet, we had the conversation with everyone that if she is their dog, the honest thing to do is to leave her with the animal shelter so they can pick her up. And it was really hard on Caden. So, and hard on all of them, but I just especially noticed that he had the most reserved feelings about the situation. So anyway, and we keep feeling like, almost feeling like we get this blessing or this happy thing, and it almost feels like it's taken away before we can even enjoy it. And I just finished reading in the Bible the story of Job, and I have never read the full story of Job. And the last chapter is my favorite chapter, I think, in the whole Bible so far, where Job 42:12, and it says, "So the Lord blessed Job in the latter days more than his beginning." And that phrase just really brought me a lot of comfort, because we have definitely been through the ringer and been having a lot of trials. My trials are not nearly as difficult or hard as Job's, I will say. Our trials are smaller than Job's, but to hear that, God is still aware of you in your trials, even when bad things seem to keep happening, he will take care of you. That verse just really struck a chord with me, and I was really grateful to read that Job was blessed in his latter days more than in his beginning. And if you remember the very first chapter of Job, it talks about how wealthy and how rich and how his family is beautiful and his daughters are beautiful, and he's always praising the Lord. He's just a very good man. And then the whole next 40 chapters are just sadness, and trial after trial after trial. And then that last verse, Job 42, the one I just shared, that he had more in the end than he had at the beginning, that kind of blew my mind away, because he was already wealthy in the beginning, but then he got even more in the end. So that story just has given me a lot of hope this week, and I was really grateful that I was reading that during this, because this was kind of the last straw. I was like, I'll tell you some of the things that have happened. Other than losing our babies, our washing machine broke, and now our dishwasher is currently broken, which I know not everyone has a dishwasher, so it might sound silly. Our dishwasher broke, and then my camera that I film videos with completely broke, and my tripod is broken right now. Things just keep breaking, and they're tangible things, they're things that can be replaced, but it causes inconvenience. And then this situation with Cookie was just on top of all of that, and it was just like, I can't take one more thing. My family can't take one more thing. Ryan said, well, our kids are used to loss by now. So I don't know what our family is supposed to learn from all of this, but I keep feeling like there's a purpose in all of this. There's a purpose in what we're going through, and that it's okay that I'm sharing it. And I hope that you can find some strength in the stories that we share and the life that we are sharing through this YouTube platform, and we are so grateful to you. So that is the story of Cookie, the little dog that ended up not being our little dog, and who knows? I just know if any more dogs show up at my doorstep, I think I'm just going to take them straight to the shelter. I thought I was doing a good thing by saving her and nursing her back to health, but in the end it was good, because I do think that we saved her life, because she was really about to die when we got her. And so I think that has been good that we saved her life, but I really don't want to be getting the police called on me and getting involved in this kind of stuff. So I think the next time I probably will just take the animal straight to the shelter, which is unfortunate, because a lot of the shelters do euthanize animals if their owners do not pick them up. So that is another unfortunate thing, and you just don't know what the right thing to do is sometimes in these situations. So hopefully I did the right thing. I don't know. Let me show you some of these spaghetti squash behind me. They are getting so nice and big, and they look really neat hanging on this trellis. There's one right above my head. thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that it wasn't a super uplifting story. Hopefully you found some courage and strength in being honest and telling the truth. I'm hoping that my kids will take this to heart and learn this, because I would want them to tell the truth and do the honest thing when they are adults themselves. So I will talk to you soon. Bye. This is one of the carnival bell peppers.